and she was able to get cash in Turkey for that crypto. And so we were able to basically skirt the whole issues that she was having with bank accounts, and she never had to use a bank at all. We literally went crypto from Canada to Turkey, and then she was able to get that into the Turkish lira and pay her rent and do whatever she needs to do. And so, yeah, that was her response on I think it was Monday morning, where it was just crypto. This shit works. Yeah. And we were like, hell yeah, it does. What's up, friends? Welcome to Web3 Academy, a place for entrepreneurs, creators, and marketers to explore and learn how to use Web3 to transform business models and create thriving communities. Enjoy this next episode. Friends, welcome to the Web3 Academy weekly roll-up. We have started this session off with a bunch of different technical difficulties, including but not limited to Discord not working. My power is out currently. I'm in Nicaragua, and I currently have no power, but luckily we have a generator, so I'm able to at least get this going. Let's hope I don't get cut out in the middle of this. Jeremy, everything good on your end?
Everything is looking good. Yeah, screen's recording.
Everything is good on Jeremy's end. I guess there's another issue. Jay is sick, my co-host typically. So we brought in Jeremy. Jeremy is, many of you guys may have seen him inside the Discord, but he is the community manager there. He's also our content creator. He's the guy that does everything for Web3 Academy in the background. And now you get to see his face, his beautiful, beautiful mug. Jeremy, tell us about you. Where are you right now?
So my name is Jeremy. I'm currently in Austin, Texas. And like Kyle said, I'm the community manager for Web3 Academy, as well as content creator. But currently in Austin, we've got a little bit of rain out of the blue. So that is what it is.
If those watching, I mean, I'm in a tank top right now because I have no AC and it's super hot in Nicaragua, but it is beautiful here. So listen, Jeremy, welcome. And thank you for taking Jay's spot today. We got a really interesting show today. Lots to talk about. We're going to talk about Web3 wallets and some big investments, as well as what wallets really mean. We're going to talk about how Web3 is going to change the way that we hire and using resumes and things like that. We got a lot of news on like Ape Yacht Club, and they're doing so much. So we'll talk there. And then we have the Web3 tool of the week. But before we get into all those things, let's slow it down a second and let's just start with some gratitude. Jeremy, why don't you start us off? What are you grateful for today?
I'm grateful for my family and how close they are to me. They moved about 10 minutes away a couple years ago. And so especially now with everything going on in the world, it's nice to know that everybody is here, close and safe.
Love it. Amazing.
Yeah. How about you?
My gratitude today is beach life. I was in Medellin in Florida for the last little bit, and now I'm literally in the middle of nowhere, Popoyo, Nicaragua. It's just a beautiful surf town. There's next to nothing here. There's not even a grocery store. We buy our food from a truck that drives by. When we hear it, we got to just like sprint out. So if all of a sudden I leave this podcast, it's because I'm going to get some nice fresh fruit and vegetables.
Some bananas.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, no, I'm super grateful to be here and just live this sort of super chill life. Obviously, we're having some technical difficulties with power, but that's what happens when you're here. But the surf is beautiful. And as soon as we're done here, that's where I will be. So Jeremy, you know this, but typically we start with the word of the week for Web3. I haven't even thought about what that word is yet. Usually I think about it days in advance, but I've been trying to figure out our power situation. So what is the word of Web3 word of the week for me today? I don't know if you have one, Jeremy, feel free to say it.
I guess if I had to come up with one right now on the spot, it would be exciting. I feel like a lot has happened this week, especially, we'll touch on it later, but with the Ape Yacht Club and the announcement that they made, it's cool to see a lot of big things happening right now.
Right, there is. Yeah, it was a big week. It was a big week. And Web3 is really getting pushed out there. It's becoming not mainstream. I don't want to say that yet, but it's getting there. And there's a lot going on in the space. So I'm glad that we're covering it today. So let's get started. All right. Yeah. What's the first one? The first one, we'll let you start it off. What is this?
Yeah, no, I think that leads right into this really well. You said mainstream, and here we have Microsoft investing in the Web3 company Consensus.
Absolutely. So Consensus is one of the, for those of you who don't know, it was started by Joseph Lubin, I believe is his name, and Lupton. Does it say there? Whatever. Anyway, he's one of the founders of Ethereum, co-founders of Ethereum, and he started Consensus. They are the company that made Metamask. They are the company which is the most popular wallet in crypto. They're the company that's made Infura, which is used throughout some backend infrastructure for crypto, and a slew of other things. They're a huge, huge component of the Ethereum ecosystem, but it just crypto in general because of how big and important Ethereum is to crypto. And Microsoft investing in Consensus. This is huge, right? Microsoft, the biggest company in the world. I'm pretty sure by market cap, they're literally the biggest. And we've seen them talk about how, they've been buying stuff in gaming, and they talked about the metaverse is going to be big. But now they've made a big play just directly inside the Ethereum ecosystem. And now owner of the biggest, not owner, but a owner of one of the biggest wallets in the space. And actually, I think we have some news on this wallet on MetaMask later on, but this is huge. And I think what a lot of people don't understand, if you want to just actually go to the next tab. So MetaMask, a lot of people have used or seen it, and it's not the greatest wallet we've ever seen. It's a bit clunky. It's kind of difficult. But a wallet, what I want people to understand, is a lot more than just something that's going to hold your crypto. A wallet is truly going to be the most important thing in our future on the internet. Kind of like how important your Instagram or your Facebook account is, kind of thing, but on a whole nother level. And the reason I say that is because your wallet does more than hold assets. It's also, when Web3 really gets built out, it's your one account. And this account is going to interact with every single application and platform on the internet. It's going to hold all of your belongings, whether that's like currencies, like a fungible token, or your NFTs. And those things, your NFTs, your tokens, are going to be what give you access to platforms, to certain experiences, to events, to memberships. So basically everything we do in the Web3 world is going to rely on our wallet. Also inside your wallet is your identity. It's going to be your avatar and your name, what people will see you and know you as, kind of like your Twitter profile, your Instagram profile, but it'll be for every platform. So I really think there's going to be so much innovation in these wallets, and they're going to be the most important thing that we use, and something we're going to use every single day, all the time. And so this is a big move for Microsoft. It means that they see what's going on here, and they want to get in on the big time infrastructure and the tools that we're going to be using in Web3. So you can see the tweet that I put out here. This was, I don't know, back in November of last year. I just said your Ethereum wallet is more than just a wallet. It's your digital profile, right? It carries your belongings, gives you access. It's your avatar, your name, your digital history, and even your resume, right? By digital history, it means people can see everything that you've done in the past on chain. What have you invested in? What have you bought? What DAOs have you belonged to? How much did you make in certain DAOs? What DeFi protocols you've interacted with? So they really get a big history of your Web3 experience. And I believe that will be a big part of hiring, or just like bringing people into your company or community or DAO, whatever we call them in the future, which actually leads us to our next piece of information. But I don't know if there's anything you want to add in there before we do that, Jeremy.
Yeah, I was just going to say, using something like MetaMask, it has been a game changer. You're just able to kind of access any website you go to, whether that's OpenSea or LooksRare, or logging into the Sandbox or Decentraland. It's just one seamless process of being able to log in. And I laugh because my mom struggles with Instagram and Facebook and forgetting her passwords to everything. And so she has this notebook that she keeps all of her different usernames and passwords in, but they're all mixed up. And so it's just a mess. It's like every couple of days I'll get a call from her to help. And it's just cool to see like this concept could completely eliminate that and make it so much easier.
So true. That's a good point. My mom has the same book. I see a picture right now in the family room. She's got it there, and that has everything in it. It's so funny. But yeah, that's the other thing, is you're going to have one wallet, or you'll probably have multiple wallets, because we want to do everything in our main like front facing wallet. We don't want everyone to know how much money we have or everything we're buying. So you might have some like anonymous wallets, but definitely you have one login, and that's just what you use for the rest of the internet. And God, what a game changer that's going to be.
Oh, it is. It's amazing.
I don't know how many passwords I have right now and accounts on different things, and it's just getting worse and worse and worse. So I can't wait for Web3 to roll out and for that to become a thing. So Next up here, we have a tweet that I put out actually just the other day, and it got a lot of engagement and a lot of comments, and just some people pro and saying like, yes, I see this. Some people kind of confused, not really understanding it. And so I thought it was a good conversation to bring up here. But here's what I said, and then we'll dive into it. Resumes will become a thing of the past. Web3 is about contributing in the moment to earn a role within a company, aka a DAO. Rather than showing past achievements in education and promising you will do a good job, doers will be rewarded in Web3. And so what this means is if anyone here has ever experienced working in part of a DAO, it's not about applying to a DAO or giving a resume. It's a community-based business, let's say. And so all of the community is working in there. And the way that roles are created is just someone doing something and saying, hey, I want to create this product, or I think we should do this. And if the community goes, that's a good idea, you want to do it, then all of a sudden you earn a spot on that team, right? And whether you get paid for that, or you then get an hourly rate or a salary or whatever, that depends on what it is you're coming up with, or the value that you're going to bring. But what's interesting here is, I did another tweet that explained like, before the internet, we would print off this resume of all of our old achievements and our schooling and whatever, and we would go door to door to every single store, and we just like hope someone give us an interview. Then the internet came and that changed. Luckily, we didn't have to go door to door anymore, and we just got to like send an email to a million companies, right, and hope one would give us an interview. Now we get to actually just join the company, all of them, whichever community we want, whatever we're passionate about, whatever we're interested in, and more importantly, whatever we feel we can add value to. And we just join in the Discord for free. We don't have to ask anyone. We just literally go in and we start listening. We start watching. We start seeing what's going on and seeing, where can I help? Where can I bring value? And if all of a sudden you can start to bring value, you can do two things. One, you could just buy some of the tokens of that DAO, and now you're in it. And now you can make money if that DAO does better. So your contributions could increase the value of that token. Or if you start to do work and people notice, they can say, hey, why don't you get a role here? And now you're on salary, or people can tip you in the token, or they can pay you per project. So it's really a different mindset of, instead of like, hey, here's what I used to do, and I could probably still do this for you. Like I used to be in sales and I could do some good sales for you. Well, now it's just like you go in and you go start doing sales. And if it works, people are like, wow, this guy's, or this girl is making money for this company or making a difference for this company. Let's pay them, right? And the community can vote and whatever. And I think it's just it's hard for people to wrap their heads around. There was a lot of comments sort of against this. But I think when you start to realize like, it's a completely new business. Don't think of businesses as like an employer and employees. It's just a community and a bunch of contributors. And those who do, they get rewarded, right? And yeah, it's really, really fascinating to me. And I think those who are doers are going to be rewarded really, really well. Have you had any experience with this, Jeremy, or what are your thoughts here?
Yeah. I was about to say, I feel like you hit the nail on the head with that. I know we had a guest on, I think it was last week, Devin, and I know that's how he got his start. He was in a Discord and just started providing value, and they took notice of it and ended up working for the company. But also, one of the first things that I saw within a Discord for an NFT project I was a part of was, and it just blew my mind that there were so many people who were just willing to start contributing, whether that was different artwork or, advice on security or different things. There was one guy who took some of the artwork, made like a 3D image of it, and then actually 3D printed it and started sending it to other owners of the NFT just to cover the cost of shipping. But just the willingness for people to hop in and start contributing it's beautiful. And I'd never seen anything like that anywhere before.
Right. Agreed. Yeah. And I think we're seeing this all the time with people. Like, it's hard for people to understand who have never been in a DAO, because it just is so different than what we're used to. Right. Mm-hmm. Usually you have to go through this like process of interviews and meeting people on the team. And then like you get in, you're like, I don't even know what I'm supposed to do. And someone tells you what to do. And this is just completely flipping that on its head. And it's like, no, look, join in. If you think you can add value and you like what we're doing, like just go do it, and hopefully it works. And it's very different. But that to me is the most exciting, because again, it makes equality for everyone, because you can be completely anonymous. You can have a picture of of a doodle or whatever you want, right? And join in, and no one knows your name, your real name. They don't know where you're from. They don't know your age. They don't know your race, and no one cares, right? Because all that matters is, do you come in and do you start making a difference? And if you come in and you're a 12-year-old kid, but all of a sudden you're just like, you're crushing it and you're making all these cool ideas and strategy and whatever, like people are like, sweet, let's get this guy in. Whereas there's no way you were going to get an interview as a 12-year-old, right? So it's going to be a very, well, it already is a very interesting concept. And it excites me as an employer myself to not have to deal with interviews and all that, and just be able to cultivate a community of people who will just do. I think it's really, really cool. Now, there's still a lot of uncertainty of like, how do we make sure that these people get paid for the things we're doing? And, are a lot of people just going to accept a bunch of work from randoms and then just never pay them? I don't know how that's going to work. And I think I have faith that the community will figure these things out and people will be good people. But I'm sure there's going to be stories where things didn't work out, and it will be unfortunate. But it's a free, open marketplace, right? And that's really what it is. And so it's like, look, if you provide enough value to the business that you're in, then I think you're going to get paid, right? You're going to get what you deserve, because people are going to need you. They're going to want you if you're that good. If you're not that good, this happens in the Web 2 world. It's like, we have a bunch of people that have positions where they're not even good, but like, because they're in a union or something, you can't fire them. Right. And that's ridiculous to me. So it's just, it creates accountability for everyone and responsibility for everyone. And that, to me, I absolutely love. I think it's going to unlock a lot of innovation in business, just because it's going to reward the doers, the people that should be getting paid and should have roles. So I'm excited for it.
For sure. And I think a lot of times too, a resume doesn't do a great job of really showing what that person can do, right? There's a lot of trust, I think, for you as an employer, that they wrote a bunch of things down on paper, but can they really live up to all of that? Whereas this, like, people have the opportunity to just start providing value, and it will be seen by, whoever's making those decisions. And it's more transparent, maybe. It just is seems like a better process.
The amount of people that fake what's on their resumes anyway. I mean, I know I've been a reference for many of my friends back in the day when they didn't have a lot of experience and they needed to beef up their resume. So I love it. Let's move on to the next one. All right, so this is very interesting. So we talk a lot about utility of NFTs, and here's a whole new one. The largest ever NFT backed loan. Okay. So someone took a loan for 8,080,000 DAI. That's a stable coin. So just say 8 million US dollars, crypto dollars though. And they got this loan by not, backing it with Bitcoin or Ethereum like you would typically do. They backed it with 101 CryptoPunks. So they used their CryptoPunks as collateral. First of all, I don't know who the hell has 101 CryptoPunks, but that's insane. I don't know what that's worth, but a lot.
So much.
But what's really cool here is one, these CryptoPunks have accrued a ton of value. And especially these, there's not a lot to do with them yet. They're more just art. And in the real world, you can use art as collateral. So this kind of makes sense. It's an asset that can grow and is scarce. And so now we have a way on chain where you can just, put your NFTs in as collateral, and you're going to get a bunch of US dollars in the form of DAI. And now you can go and do whatever you want with that. Maybe they're using it to pay off their mortgage, or I don't know what they're going to do, whatever they want. But what's really cool is they're getting this $8 million loan, but they didn't have to sell any of their CryptoPunks. Because yes, these CryptoPunks are worth way more than 8 million, probably. I would bet that this loan is probably like 4x to 10x backed, right? Like over collateralized. But now they don't have to sell their CryptoPunks, so they may still gain in their and appreciate in their asset value. They don't pay taxes, right? Because they didn't sell anything. That's a huge one. If you're going to sell $8 million worth of CryptoPunks, you're probably paying $4 million in taxes. So that sucks. So this way, no taxes, no selling, and they get $8 million. So really, really interesting. The APY, by the way, so the loan, what they have to pay back is 10% interest. Who knows what they're doing with it? I have no idea, but just a super interesting concept.
Yeah, I think I don't know enough about it, and definitely not financial advice. But as far as if you had to sell one of them to use that money for whatever you needed to, that's a taxable event, right? And so you're losing some percentage of it. And this seems like a much better way to actually just get that USD that you need to go and do whatever.
Absolutely. Now, I mean, it's a bit, I guess, risky for I don't know who did it. MetaStreet, is that what I saw was the protocol that gave the loan? Facilitated by MetaStreet, it seems. So like, hey, bit of risk, but I mean, anything could be a risk, right? Like, look, if you had the Russian ruble, a couple of weeks ago backing loans, well, you got screwed by 50% there too. So, I think CryptoPunks have made their way into being one of the blue chips. And so I don't think there's a whole lot of risk there, but we'll see how this plays out with other NFTs in the future.
Speaking of blue chips, this next one, the creators of Bored Ape Yacht Club bought both the CryptoPunks and Meebits, all the rights to those. So that was a massive purchase by them, and I think it's a really good indication of the future of some of these projects. I know I agree. I think a lot of people think that they're overhyped, but this is a big purchase for kind of a long-term vision that they have.
Absolutely. Yeah, this shocked me. So for those that are not like super aware of the NFT space, so CryptoPunks were the first PFP collection of NFTs that were created. I think CryptoKitties might have been before them, but they're not really PFPs. I don't know what those were, but anyway, I think so. CryptoPunks is one of the first here. And so it's gained its reputation as being the first in sort of the pristine kind of blue chip NFT as a result of that. And so a bunch of celebrities have bought them. They went up in value like crazy. Some of them are worth millions. So really cool. Larva Labs created them. Once Larva Labs created that, then they created the next one called Meebits. And Meebits is there a picture of them anywhere in here that we can show? So Meebits are like these block-like looking, sort of human type looking avatars that are 3D and they can move around in the metaverse. So inside of, I think it's Sandbox or maybe some other ones that you can actually program them in and move them around. So there's like videos on Twitter of people making them dance and do things. And once we're all in the metaverse, it seems like that'll be the new version of like the PFP, like the profile picture on Twitter. But this time you'll be walking around in like a Meebit or something else. And so Larva Labs launched them next, and they became a big thing. I think their value right now, their floor price is around like 4 or so ETH, something like that. But also something really cool. Now, Larva Labs, though, was this company that made these and then just sort of did nothing with them. They didn't create any utility. They haven't really done anything. And so they've taken a lot of flack from the NFT community, and they didn't give ownership rights. I don't exactly know how this works, but basically the IP of the CryptoPunks and the Meebits were owned by Larva Labs. And so they could technically like sell those rights to, let's say, movie producers and create a movie, and the holders wouldn't get paid. So what happened was Bored Ape Yacht Club, which was kind of the second big blue chip that came similar to CryptoPunks, this created like a really big community that started to create like a membership club out of these NFTs. And it ended up flipping the price of CryptoPunks. The community's huge. They have real life events. They do a ton of different things, a bunch of celebrities in there as well. They decided they were just going to buy the rights to CryptoPunks and Meebits from Larva Labs. And what they did in their first move was they gave the IP rights to the NFT holders themselves, which is super cool. That's kind of what Web3 and crypto is all about. So I think that is a big bonus. As to what else they do, I have no idea. They did announce that they wouldn't be giving like membership access to the Bored Ape Yacht Club membership to those who hold the CryptoPunks and the Meebits. But they said they're going to wait, see what the community wants, and then build from there. So I think for holders of CryptoPunks and Meebits, like this is great. I think Bored Ape Yacht Club has shown that they are willing to actually do things. I guess the correct name is Yuga Labs. That's who created Bored Ape Yacht Club. But these guys, they're actually doing things in the NFT space, and I think they're going to make more utility out of the CryptoPunks and Meebits. So yeah, really, really interesting to see, and good for Yuga Labs for purchasing this, and we'll see what happens with it. And in full transparency, I owned a Meebit, bought one last year, and I sold it once this happened. And actually, what's nice is it kind of like the price of Meebits was at like, I don't know, 2 or 3, and went all the way up the floor to like 6 or something. And I sold for a little higher than that. And then now it's down to like 4. So I feel really good about myself. That's not timing. Investment advice. I'm not a trader at all. I just, it just seemed like a good opportunity for me. I'm probably going to be wrong and Meebits will go to the moon in a couple of days, but hey, it is what it is. I don't really care.
Oh, no. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I highlighted this part. I really liked, they said that we'll be listening to the community before we decide what comes next. And for us, NFTs have always been about culture. Our vision has always been to build a community-owned brand that extends far beyond NFTs. And I just thought that was cool that if they're buying 2 of the largest projects besides Bored Ape Yacht Club, that they do have the culture in mind and that they want it to be community owned and community driven. I think that just speaks to, you know, the entire Web3 space as a whole.
Absolutely. 100%. Yeah, it's all community driven. And I think what's nice about Bored Ape Yacht Club that they do and why their NFTs are worth so much is they've created utility. There's a purpose. If you hold one of those tokens, or sorry, one of those NFTs, you get access to events with celebrities. You get access to, like, I think they're buying like a club in Miami. They're doing so many different things. You were able to mint other NFTs. We're going to get to it later, but they just launched Ape Coin, some token, and those of her holders got a bunch of this, and they're involved in a DAO. They're really just, they're really the pioneers of Web3 right now, in my opinion. And it's incredible to watch and learn from because they're doing so much. So we'll touch more on them later in the episode here.
Absolutely. This next one is a cool one. Mark Zuckerberg says NFTs are coming soon to Instagram. He announced that at South by Southwest earlier this week.
Right. Yeah, this is big. I mean, we've seen it already with Twitter, right? We have verified profile pictures on Twitter, which is, it's a bit gimmicky, but people have loved it. There's a lot of people that use it and it's super cool. And I would assume Instagram is going to do the same thing, right? You can make your profile picture NFT and verify that you actually own it. But if I were Instagram, and they didn't say what they were going to do, they just said they're going to integrate NFTs in some way. But Instagram is the perfect opportunity to become a marketplace for NFTs and take their 2% or 3% or whatever they want. Like imagine you're posting pictures and you could take a picture of whatever, it automatically can get uploaded as an NFT and then you can sell it right there on, like it's on your wall or whatever the Instagram feed is. And you can just sell it right in there. Someone can bid on it, like right in there. I think the integration of social media and NFTs is going to be pretty amazing. And it's not going to be like what we see now of like, you have your social media over here where you talk about the NFTs you have, but then if you want to go buy one or get one, you got to go to some like marketplace, like random and OpenSea marketplace on a different platform. I think Instagram is going to integrate those and they'll all become one and it'll be a social platform mixed with NFT marketplace, mixed with who knows what else they're going to do. But this one I think is going to be way bigger than Twitter. Like Twitter was cool what they did. This is going to be huge, in my opinion.
Yeah, this is huge. And I thought what was super interesting, you kind of just touched on it there, but apparently Zuckerberg said that hopefully in the coming months, Instagram members will be able to mint their own NFTs within the app. So I think you're right. It makes sense that they would have a marketplace within it that you are actually able to mint and buy, sell, trade.
The only question is, do they do this on like Ethereum or like an actual blockchain, or do they do this in like their own centralized, gated, whatever the hell you want to call it, private blockchain thing that they're building in the background? I'm going to assume, I've been listening to a lot of interviews with Mark Zuckerberg lately. He was on the Lex Friedman podcast like last week. And it was actually a really, really interesting conversation. It was like 2 hours long, 3 hours long. And it was great. And Zuckerberg seemed to be very open to, like, he was talking a lot about freedom of speech, talking a lot about decentralization, talked a little bit about NFTs. Actually, I think he's leaning towards, you know, doing this the right way, the open way. And he's going to lose if he doesn't. And I think he's one of the smartest guys in the world. So he's got to see this because no one's going to use, I mean, people will still use it, but like it won't gain traction long-term if it's not on an open, decentralized blockchain like Ethereum. And so I can only hope he does that, but we'll see what happens. We'll see. I think he should do it and just take his 2% on all transactions and fees. And away you go. You're set. You've got a new business model for the future, but we'll see.
That would be a big number. So next is this one. You want to take this one?
Yeah, sure. So back to MetaMask, we talked about how Microsoft just bought the company that owns MetaMask. They didn't buy them, sorry, but they invested in it. And what we see here, MetaMask just passed 30 million monthly active users, which is up 42% in the last 4 months. And so this is Web3 Academy posted. That's Jeremy. It says Web3 adoption is happening right before our eyes. What's really interesting about this, 42% increase in the last 4 months. Has anyone noticed what's been happening in the markets in the last 4 months? We've basically cut the market cap and the prices of everything by like 50% in the last 4 months, yet we're still gaining an adoption. That was really interesting to see. I think, you know, the macro landscape is really impacting what's going on with everything happening in Ukraine and with the with rate hikes and inflation, et cetera. So that's really impacting the markets. But we're still seeing growth at the same time. And I think that to me is really, I mean, one, it's really bullish, but two, it's just exciting. It means that even without price, like number go up, we're still seeing people come into the space. And that's huge because yes, during bull markets, when prices are just going like 10x, like, yeah, users are coming into the space, but are they users that are coming in to really use this stuff and like learn it, understand it? Or are they just coming in to speculate? Because that's what happens in bull markets. But to see, even when prices are going down, people are coming in, that is huge for the space. And so when prices start to go back up, like, I bet you just people flood it even more.
For sure. Yeah. And I think what's interesting too is passing 30 million monthly active users is huge, but that's still so small when you consider, you know, right. Facebook has, is it 2 billion users on there? The amount of people who have access to the internet, that once we can onboard them to Web3, it's exciting. It's still so early.
Yeah, that's a good point. So if you look at holders of crypto in total, right, it's something like 300 million or something was the last 300 or 400 million right now. And so this is, you know, the people that have addresses on MetaMask, which is 30 million. And that's, I mean, you can have multiple, I guess it's active users, but you could have multiple wallets and be active with it. So it's probably less like actual humans that have these wallets. So like you realize how small of people are actually using Web3, because to use Web3, you basically need MetaMask, right? So there's 400 million people that own crypto, but only 10% of that are actually interacting and using Web3. So the growth that we are going to see in Web3 in the next, you know, over the next decade is just going to be incredible.
Yeah. And it's a good reminder too, because I'm guilty of having that FOMO where I'll see some good news or something. I'm like, oh, why did I not, you know, sell everything I have in my kidney last month to get in? But it's like, we're still so early, and that FOMO, not necessary. This is a big one right here. ApeCoin launches, what does this say? ApeCoin launches for Bored Ape, Ethereum. Oh yeah, so the founder of Reddit and some execs from FTX and, I don't know how you said that, Animoca, they have helped launch this ApeCoin, which is also a DAO.
Yeah, and this is, ApeCoin is basically the DAO for Bored Ape Yacht Club. So there is a new DAO that's inspired by Bored Ape Yacht Club. The holders of Bored Ape Yacht Club and the Mutant Ape Yacht Club or whatever, they all received tokens. So they received an airdrop. And I don't know what the aim of this DAO is yet. Do they know what this, like what the purpose is? It to build more utility into Bored Ape Yacht Club, or what's the play here?
So their tweet, that when they actually announced it, it says, introducing ApeCoin, a token for culture, gaming, and commerce used to empower a decentralized community building at the forefront of Web3. So I think I read somewhere that I think it's Bored Ape is planning some sort of game. I don't know if they're currently developing that or not, but the token would be used within the game in some capacity.
Right. Yeah. I mean, this just happened like 2 days ago. I think it was 2 days ago or yesterday that this launched. Yesterday. So yeah, yesterday. So we still don't know a whole lot about it. We've heard that this coin was coming and it's already been listed on Coinbase. But we'll see what they do. I mean, this is, again, like we said, Bored Ape Yacht Club is really pioneering the Web3 space with NFTs, with purchasing NFTs, which I don't even know that that's even happened before, purchasing a collection of NFTs. Now they're dropping tokens and creating a DAO. They're moving. And when did Bored Ape Yacht Club even start? I think it was like a year ago, like a little over a year ago now, maybe, is when they first launched. It was in 2021. So like, these guys are moving at just an insane pace. And now with the DAO, I mean, I'm sure they can move even, I don't know about faster, but they're going to have, you know, I don't know how many people have this, but let's say thousands of people are now part of this and incentivized to build. So, you know, now they're going to be building games and who knows what else they're going to build. But yeah, really, really amazing story. And just everyone keep your eye on what Bored Ape Yacht Club is doing, because they're really they're pioneering this space. And it's really cool to see. Whether this DAO works out or not, I don't know, but I can only imagine they're going to figure things out.
For sure. Yeah, I was going to say, I'm going to be watching this very closely, because it's going to be really interesting to see some people at this large scale, the reach that these people do, like how they're going to navigate launching a DAO and you know what's interesting to think of community.
What's interesting here is, so who are the holders of Bored Ape Yacht Club? I know we have like Justin Bieber, Steph Curry, who else? I don't know. There's a bunch of musicians and stuff. And so now they've all been airdropped. Like, I don't even know how much it is, but a bunch of tokens. And I wonder if they'll contribute to the DAO, right? It's going to be very interesting to see how that all plays out. Are you buying the ape coin or what?
So speaking of FOMO, I'm trying to practice not FOMOing, and so I'm currently not. I have not purchased any, but I feel like in the future I probably will. Gotcha. After it kind of fizzles out a little bit from this crazy hype.
I can't help but buy anything but ETH right now, so I'm not buying yet.
And it's moving up again finally, which is nice.
Yeah, we'll see. All right. So next up, and this is our final discussion for this podcast episode, is the Web3 tool of the week. And by the way, before we get into this, Jeremy, hell of a job you're doing as your first time on an episode here of a podcast. I think you're doing a great job. And listeners, I hope that you agree as well. One more thing to note, actually, next Monday, which is, I don't know, when is that? March. What date are we looking at here in case people are watching this later? March 21st, we have a new members meetup. And everyone who's in the Web3 Academy Discord, we're getting on a live call together. We're going to share sort of the white paper of Web3 Academy and roadmap. And we want to start to get everyone involved in the DAO that we are creating. And we want to make sure the community is involved. So I know a bunch of you guys that are in the Discord are listening to this, whether it's on YouTube, Spotify, whatever. Check it out on, 4 p.m. EST on Monday. And actually it's every Monday. So even if you're watching this episode like later on, we will have them frequently on Mondays. So check it out. We want you guys there because we want to talk, we want to gain some ideas, and we want to get everyone involved. So check that out. But okay, Web3 tool of the week. So let's go to Diagonal first. So flip over to the other tab here. So Diagonal just received a $2.5 million pre-seed round. And I think it was from like Coinbase Ventures and a few other pretty big names. And what they are creating is crypto native subscriptions. I founded, along with Jay, a company called Impact Digital Marketing, where we are growth marketers for subscription-based products. This is all we do is subscriptions. And we work with a lot of the big newsletters and media companies in crypto, and none of them are able to accept crypto, which all of their customers have crypto and would love to be paying in crypto, I'm sure. And none of them can. And the reason is crypto hasn't had the ability to do subscriptions, right? The reason subscriptions work so well is someone signs up with a credit card, let's say, and then they never have to think about it again. Every month, it just takes off $20 or $50 or whatever from their credit card. It's a great business model. It's one of the best business models in the internet right now. And it's easy for the customer. They don't have to think about paying every single month. It just comes off. This is why you have subscription models for like razors and subscription models for, I don't know, I have one for Spanish lessons. I have Netflix and Amazon, and we have subscription models for everything, literally. And so what Diagonal is doing is creating a way for you to have non-custodial, so you don't have to use like your bank or like a Coinbase or something, and have reoccurring payments literally on Ethereum, and it's gasless. And I think they're building on layer 2. So it's on Optimism, Arbitrum, and maybe Polygon. Polygon, I think, is the other one. But what's really, really interesting here, and this is going to dive into all of the cool things of Web3. So Diagonal is a front end facing let's call it application. Okay. Where this is where you go and you link it into your website or into your protocol, whatever it is. And then customers can just go in, connect to their wallet, sign a transaction, and boom, it starts to do monthly subscriptions. Now, the way that they've built this is really cool because Diagonal Finance is what they're called. They actually just built on top of another DeFi application called Superfluid. So Superfluid is the one where they actually built the functionality for someone on the blockchain to connect their wallet and what's called stream payments. And so this is going to be a game changer. Think about this for a second. So streaming payments means instead of a membership where you pay once a month, let's say $25, or you pay an employee once a month or once every 2 weeks, like we do today. Let's say you pay them, I don't know, $5,000 every month. Instead, you can stream payments. And so meaning every single second, money is moving from your wallet to their wallet in real time. How friggin' cool is that for employees? They don't have to get right. They don't have to wait for 2 weeks. It's always coming. Or if you have someone on a contract for a couple hours or whatever, they're just getting paid literally by seconds over those few hours. And so subscription, same thing. You know, you pay $25 a month, but you don't actually have to pay it all up front. It just every second is taking a little bit all the way until the end of the month. Boom, it's at $25. So when you cancel, you didn't lose out on whatever else. This is amazing for both parties, right? Because you don't have to put the 25 up front. You still have, you know, it's only a little bit at a time. And then the company's also obviously getting their payments as it goes as well, automatically. So for me, I can't wait to use this with our clients. I think this is going to be incredible. And I just think it's really cool that we're seeing, you know, we saw DeFi. For anyone who's in DeFi, you see that they call it the DeFi Legos, where like one app is building on top of another app and using something from another app, and they sort of just all connect because they're open source. Now we're seeing it here with commerce, right? With Web3, where it's utility to not just finance people, but to basically everyone in the world. We all use memberships. So this is just going to be super, super cool. Diagonal Finance, I don't think is live yet, but it will be soon. I think they're in beta and they're testing with some companies. I've already reached out to them. I talked to them on Twitter. I'm trying to get them on the podcast because I want to hear more about all of this and how it's all going to work. But hell yeah, decentralized payments that are subscriptions, that are streaming in real time. This is going to be a game changer. I'm super pumped about this.
Well, it's just exciting too to think like we just don't know what the future of Web3 is going to hold. Like you could not do this in the previous financial system, like pay an employee every second of every day, right? They have to wait the 2 weeks or whatever. Like this, there's just so many applications that we have not thought of. And like, this is one that would not have been, you know, really feasible, I don't know, a year, 2 years ago. And for the rest of time, it's just, it's exciting. All the random new applications that will come about.
And think about, you know, employers right now, if you run a company or you have contractors around the world, like think about how difficult it is to pay people. You either, if they're in a different country, you either need to use like Swift payments, which is expensive and slow, or you need to use an intermediary like, I don't know, Upwork, for example. Sometimes you have to use theirs where you got to plug in your money into Upwork and then they take a little cut and then they pay the people out whenever they're ready to. And there's just like, there's so many, or you got to use PayPal or whatever. And sometimes they can block you depending on where you live. And it's just, it's paying people in this world, is, especially when it's global, is just super frustrating, right? And now it's completely decentralized. It's non-custodial. It can go to anyone in real time. Fuck, I'm so excited. Super cool.
That's so cool. Yeah. And especially now with like everything going on in the world, I think it's not my story to share, but it really like struck a chord with me earlier. A member of our team is going through, you know, some of what's going on in Russia and Ukraine, and their bank accounts were frozen, obviously. And the quote was, "Crypto, this shit works." And it's just so true to see it actually, I don't know, making a difference out there. It's cool.
Yeah, actually, let's share that story a little further. So one of our team members is from Russia, and with the sanctions, you know, her payments were blocked, her banks were blocked, everything. And so thankfully she could just get a Metamask wallet, and we couldn't pay her, right? Because we had to use the Swift payment system to pay her. And so she got up her MetaMask. We sent her USDC through there. And then she's actually in Turkey now. And she was able to switch that money from USDC into, I forget how she did it. It was into like USDT or whatever it was. And she was able to get cash in Turkey for that crypto. And so we were able to basically skirt the whole issues that she was having with bank accounts, and she never had to use a bank at all. We literally went crypto from Canada to Turkey, and then she was able to get that into the Turkish lira and pay her rent and do whatever she needs to do. And so, yeah, that was her response on I think it was Monday morning, where it was just crypto. This shit works. Yeah. And we were like, hell yeah, it does. This is freaking amazing. So yeah, super cool, and excited for that tool. Look, I think that's it. We've wrapped up this episode. Jeremy, I think you did a great job. Any final words for this episode? Anything that you're feeling or thinking right now, or what's in your mind?
Still excited. Just that Web3 word of the week for me was excited. Also, big, I don't know, appreciation for what Jay does all the time. It's one thing to watch it and to edit the episode together. It's another to be on here and actually part of the conversation. So got another level of respect for both you and Jay.
Love it. You did a great job. Listeners, thank you for joining us on Web3 Academy. Hopefully you learned a lot today. If you guys have questions or things you want us to talk about or discuss, please join the Discord. The link is in the show notes below. I believe it's w3academy.xyz. Join the Discord, ask questions, and in these roll-ups, we'd love to answer your questions. We may do it in real time right in the Discord there. But we'd love to discuss things here. Or if you are doing something cool in Web3, you're building something, you've launched something, you got a DAO, NFTs, whatever, you want to share your story. Well, every single week on Tuesdays, we do a Web3 doer spotlight where we share what's going on and what people in our community are doing. We'd love to share your story. So reach out. There's also a link somewhere, probably in the show notes, where you can fill out a form and apply. So get involved, and do that by getting in the Web3 Academy Discord. Jeremy, thank you for taking over and helping Jay. Jay, we hope that you feel better. He's got the fever and fever and chills, so he's a little rough today. We actually talked to him this morning, and he wasn't doing so hot. So hopefully he's better, and we'll be back for next week. But if not, we found a great co-host, Jeremy and you. So thank you for doing that. Okay. And everyone, have yourself a great weekend.
Bye.
Thank you for listening to Web3 Academy. We hope this helps you along your Web3 journey. And if it does, please share this episode and subscribe so you don't miss the next one. By the way, if you have yet to join the Discord community, you are missing out. This is where all the magic happens. This is where we learn, where we ask questions, where we network. You want to be in there. The link to join is in the description below. And finally, a quick disclaimer. Nothing in this podcast was financial advice. Crypto and Web3 can be risky. You can literally lose it all. In fact, if you invest on account of what we say, you probably will lose it all. So don't do that. In all honesty, the point of this podcast is to remove the noise of markets and price and focus on utility and implementation anyway. So you should not take any of this as financial advice. Thank you, friends, and see you in the next one.